How you have overcome barriers, demonstrated resilience, and shown drive for learning in your life. So, just want to begin with telling you guys about some of the challenges or the barriers that I have had. While in high school, I had an IEP, which is like a learning disability, which I found that it was very difficult for me to process information as quickly as everyone else could. So, while studying, I really had to use flashcards in order to really memorize things and, work twice as hard or almost thrice as hard to pat down the same concepts. Um, a barrier that I had relating to this is when I was studying at Laurier, I got in for economics and finance in that program, but I didn't have my IEP recognized, so I didn't have that extra time while given the opportunity to do exams and do tests. So, it really hurt me in the fact that I didn't have that extra time. I couldn't finish things in time and really hurt my grades. Um, Another barrier, that I faced, during my lifetime was the financial troubles that I've always had while I was in school. At Laurier, like I didn't have enough money for living expenses. I had to pay for things like rent and those sort of things. But something that I did in order to make that possible, I used to, I have this undying passion for tech and IT as a child. So I actually built gaming PCs from like used parts to pay for living expenses. So I just make gaming PCs, put hardware of different computers into one, buy a couple things, fit it in for cheap, and make like 200, 300% profit and sell PCs to pay for living expenses. And then I also bought merchandise from China, from individual suppliers, and I bought things such as electronics like wireless earbuds and things of such nature, and I sold them on Kijiji and Facebook in order to make some profit, which then helped me pay for my living expenses while in school. And I also worked at the bank, and the issue was my hours were being cut there. So in turn, I didn't have enough money and I had to drop out. And then I went into the car business and I sort of built my way back up. And, I took a break from school. And here I am back at it again, trying to go back to school, now that most of my debt has been settled. Question two, how the learning opportunity you've selected will help you hone your skills and or develop new skills. So I've always had an undying passion or interest in like technology in general. And IT's really always sort of gauged my interest because I'm interested to know how IT works, how it really works internally in the workplace. How networks are developed, how they're used, how frameworks are built. So that's something I've always had, further interest about learning about. So I think, really going into this area of study is going to teach me more about, my sort of passion that's now turning into a reality. And, just learning how I can capitalize on that sort of new area of study. Why are you excited for your learning opportunity and how will it impact your life? Well, I think that the reason why I'm so excited is because, as I mentioned earlier, that this has always sort of been something that I've been interested in, but something that I never really discovered or explored. I didn't take it so seriously until now, where I see like, oh wow, this is something that's interesting to me, and I should really pursue it. So like it's pretty much what I'm doing is I'm shifting my career pathway, right? Because I've been in the car sales industry for a long time, about 4 or 5 years of my life, and I worked my way up to being a financial services manager. But now I've sort of seen that my interest lies elsewhere. I want to try something new, so like this is like a career, completely new career pathway for me. It's just basically I'm turning my passion and desire into a reality. So I think this will be something really interesting for me to discover, and as well as life is short. You gotta be able to try new things and do things that you've always desired, right? So I guess a goal of mine has always been is turning my desires into reality, and I think that's what I'm doing here.